Well, step one, if someone was interested in this, the first thing they would do is go to our website, which is ecommerceisland.com. And eCommerce Island stands for St. Croix, which is where our servers are based and our partners are based. It does not, it's not restricted just to St. Croix, but that's our primary focus is the island of St. Croix. And so ecommerceisland.com has a whole bunch of information about this, but the process is fairly streamlined. A telephone call or an email to me. I'm the person who checks out the business model. And the reason that has to happen is our local legislation in the U.S. Virgin Islands, we made the determination early on that we didn't want any pornography or any gambling. We want this to be totally clean. So we first have to take a look at the type of company it is, make sure it clears that hurdle, then understand the business model because, again, I'm not a tax professional. They need to talk to somebody like you. But there are certain things that need to occur in order to make sure that the benefits are appropriate. And so taking a look at that business model is very important to determine if a lot of those metrics are being reached.
Are they going to make enough money to make it worth it?
Well, that is part of it, but there's
right.
other issues. Again, you know more about this than I do. There's effectively connected issues. There's, where did the transaction really take place? Are there people making sales on the U.S. mainland versus the U.S. Virgin Islands? Is it an existing company that needs to move, and then you have transfer pricing issues? So again, they really need to get with a tax advisor, which I am not.
Sure.
But I look at the business model just to kind of see, okay, where is this happening? I kind of look at the flow chart, and then I will opine, not professionally or legally, but just like, yes, I think this is a good fit for you. If it's a good fit, we then negotiate the terms.
And let me interrupt.
Yeah.
They have to come to you because you're authorized by
the University of the Virgin Islands Research and Technology Park, which is a public-private partnership between the government of the Virgin Islands, the university, and private enterprise.
Okay.
And so we are a self-sufficient entity, just like any business out there. We have to generate a profit. It was determined when we passed our legislation that rather than other economic development agencies which rely on the government dole year after year after year, we had to be self-sufficient and walk the walk, not just talk the talk. So I'm delighted to say that we are now self-sufficient. And the way that we generate our fees is in exchange for extending these benefits, we ask for fees, scholarships, internships, a combination thereof in order to accomplish our mission.
Yeah, so in order, you were given that franchise.
Correct.
And in exchange for that, you have an exclusive.
That's correct.
Okay, just to clarify.
That's correct. I was one of the chief architects of the park, and I played a major role in getting the legislation passed, both in the Virgin Islands and also going to the U.S. Treasury.
Okay.
And after doing that for maybe 7 or 8 years till we got everything done, then the chairman of the board of the university at that point said, "Now, would you help us with business development?"
I see.
And that's how I came to be in this to be in this role. But so then I generally negotiate the business terms in non-binding, just a high-level term sheet, which then I bring to the board of directors of the park. Again, the park is a private enterprise, even though it's a public-private partnership, and they have a board of directors. I make the case to the board of directors on why I think this company should be admitted to the park. Park legal counsel looks at it, park accountants look at it, the executive director looks at it, and then the board votes. If the board approves it, then they proceed to the bona fide, legalese, the definitive agreement. And so from the time someone talks to me to the time we negotiate the terms is usually no more than 2 to 3 weeks. It's either a fit or it's not a fit. We're either able to come to terms or we're not able to come to terms. And parenthetically, I'm really kind of like a Henry Kissinger. I'm trying to look out for the interest of these companies to make sure it makes sense for them, and also look out for the interests of the park. So it's a commercial negotiation. But rarely, without exception, we're able to reach an accord. Then I go to the board, and if the board says yay, then the lawyers for both respective entities, the park and the corporation that's applying, work out the terms and conditions. Once the contracts are signed, it goes back to the board for ratification. And then after that, the governor of the U.S. Virgin Islands, who's the executive branch of the territory, has 60 days to either thumbs up it or thumbs down it, approve it or disapprove it, or ask for modifications. If he doesn't respond within 60 days, it's deemed to be approved. But if there are questions, we might have to go back and forth. So I guess the short answer to your question is it's probably about a 3 to 6 month process from the initial contact till the tax benefits being extended.